Assalamu alaikum طلبتنا الأعزاء. Evening classes. In today's lesson we are going to tackle two topics. The first one is tackling the pitfalls of a thesis sentence, the drawbacks of a thesis sentence, the downsides of a thesis sentence, the problems that are found in a thesis sentence, and how should we avoid these pitfalls, these shortcomings, the pitfalls, problems, shortcomings, downsides. يعني يسموها في اللغة العربية مثلا العيوب اللي موجودة في thesis sentence. We learned how to write in the previous lessons, we learned how to write a good thesis sentence, and we knew that a good thesis sentence is representing a specific idea, point of view about the topic. It shouldn't be too general. So what are those pitfalls? What are those problems, downsides that we should avoid? When we write a thesis sentence, we should avoid certain features in a thesis sentence to be as good as possible. Okay, so we have three problems. We have three pitfalls to avoid while writing, or when we write a good thesis sentence. These are mentioned on page 85. If you look at page 85, you will find the three problems we should avoid. So what are those problems? First of all, generally speaking, or in brief, first of all, we shouldn't write a general thesis sentence, yani general idea. We should not express a general idea in our thesis sentence. Why? Because we said earlier that a thesis sentence, a good thesis sentence, should represent a very specific point of view, a focused point of view. And if we add sub-ideas, it would be better. The second point, the second problem we should avoid is that we shouldn't announce or we shouldn't represent announcements. For example, you say, I'm going to write about so-and-so. There's no need to say, I'm going to write about. So, because we know that you are going to write about something, and this is your topic. So you should You should state your thesis sentence directly, specifically, and clearly. And if you put sub-ideas, it would be better. Why? Because we said earlier that writing sub-ideas will make you, as a writer, and your reader more focused, more outlined, more organized, more specific. Okay? The third problem we should avoid is that the thesis should not be representing a common fact, a common sense knowledge. Okay, and we are going to share this page in order to read the examples. Okay, reading the examples, and we analyze them and see what are the differences between the bad thesis sentence and the improved one. What here? Okay, window, جيد. واضحة عندكم الآن البيج؟
Yes.
طلاب؟
Yes,
نعم أستاذ واضحة.
البيج واضحة؟
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, دكتور. أنا ما أسمعكم.
Yes, دكتور. Yes, sir.
Yes, دكتور. أوكي، شنو الإشكال؟ أنتم تسمعوني؟
نعم. يا أستاذ نسمع.
نعم.
زين، شنو المشكلة؟ يعني إذا سمعوني جيد، زين، أنا ليش ما أسمعكم؟ شنو الخلل؟
لا دكتور، احنا جاي نسمعنا ونسمعك. ما دام جاي تسمعنا جاي نسألك ونجاوبك، فأكيد جاي تسمعنا.
أوكي. ادري انتم جاي تقولون احنا جاي نسمعك وجاي تكتبوا لي، لكن انا ما جاي اسمعكم. فد لحظه، شنو الاشكال؟ ما عندي مشكله انا الان بالله. محسن علي.
نعم دكتور.
اي واحد يتكلم ما جاي يسمعكم. ما اعرف شنو الاشكال، وين الموضوع، شنو الاشكال بالموضوع. انتم جاي تسمعوني بس انا ما جاي اسمعكم، ليش ما اعرف. من فتح التسجيل راح صوتنا ليش؟ يعني عادة احنا دائما نسوي ريكوردينج، شنو الاشكال؟ خليني نشوف. change layout reply full screen captions is found for audio. لا انا ما سويت كتم لاي شيء يعني زين. settings كل شيء نورمال. send resolution receive resolution host controls audio. ماكو اشكال. زين. اعتقد لازم نسوي الان جاي يسمعوني لان انا راح اكمل المحاضره، خلي اكمل المحاضره.
نعم أستاذ سمع.
واعتقد جاي يسمعوني بس مثلا. اوكي خلي اكمل المحاضره، اكو فد اشكال صار لا بس خلي اكمل المحاضره، واذا اكو فد اسئله بنشتغل عليه على الشات بوكس. اوكي زين. جاي يشوفون الشير دوكيمنت الان؟ بس واحد يكتب لي يس اور نو. اوكي ممتاز جاي يشوفوها. جيد. اذا خلي اوكي راح اشرح لكم هذه البيت فولز 3 بيت فولز لان وقت ما عندنا. في النصف ساعه ان شاء الله نكمل لحد الساعه 5 5 وربع. Look at these problems. These statement pitfalls. We have 3 pitfalls. Here we have we have pitfall number 1. Here we have problem number 1. The thesis is too general, so we should avoid writing a general thesis sentence. Why? Because when it is general, this means that there is no specific point of view. No specific point of view about the topic. The topic is too general. So it could work as what? As a good sentence, but it doesn't work as what? As a good thesis sentence, as I explained earlier, and we discussed this point. For example, if you see these examples, a college education is a good investment. So does this sentence or does this group of words represent a good sentence? Please answer me in the chat box. اوكي برخصتكم ثواني. نعم دكتور حياك الله. اهلا دكتور حياك الله. الله يخليك دكتور عندي محاضره عندي محاضره وهي المسائل. اي والله هسه ايوه. Okay طلاب. Okay. A college education is a good investment. Does it yield a good sentence? Is it a good sentence? A college education is a good investment. مثلا عندنا صفاء محمد خضير مرزوق says no. Safa, why Safa? No. Yeah, you should write your justification, your reason. Why does this sentence doesn't yield a good sentence? And also Shayma Jawad, why? And عندنا أحمد محمد يونس says yes. Okay, so why yes and why no? صفاء محمد خضير مرزوق تقول too general not two double O, it should be double O. وعندنا أفراح تقول no but doesn't mention any reason. Please, always when you say yes you have to show the reason, and when you say no, the same, you have to tell the reason. Okay, because it's too general. It's general because it's too general. طلاب أنا ليش سألكم هذا السؤال؟ وأنا متأسف جدا أنا متأسف لوضع الطلاب يعني صراحة، لأنه جاي أشرح الموضوع والفيديوز موجودة، يعني جاي أشرح الموضوع بشكل تفصيلي، ومرات يعني حتى I analyze the topic, I analyze the topic we are discussing. زين، my question is does it yield a good sentence؟ يعني الظاهر يعني اكو اشكال عند الطلبه بعد ما يميزون بين يعني ما جاي يتميزون بدقه السؤال، وهذا طبعا راح يعني يوقعكم باشكال كبير عندما تجاوبون على الاسئله. يعني مثلا هو احنا شو نقول عاده؟ نقول فهم السؤال نصف الجواب. انا ما سالتكم does it yield a good thesis sentence، سألتكم does it yield a good sentence. لازم شنو؟ لازم تنتبه للسؤال بشكل دقيق. اوكي، فأنا سألتكم سؤال ذكي حتى اختبر ذكائكم. انت رجعت شو تقول لي؟ وكأنما تسوي copying paste للي موجود بال يعني مثلا هذا مكتوب too general، مكتوب too general. I know it's too general, but this doesn't mean that it's not a good sentence. انتبه لي طلاب، انتبه لي طلاب. When you say because it's too general, I didn't ask you about what is it a good thesis sentence. ما قلت لك أنا is it a good thesis sentence، لكن شنو سألتك؟ does it yield a good sentence؟ is it a good sentence؟ yes it is. Why? Because it's grammatically correct. A college education is a good investment. It's an excellent sentence, not good sentence. It's an excellent sentence. Grammatically correct, semantically right. It has two parts. It has a topic, which is definitely a college education. This is the topic. And it has what? It has a controlling idea. Where is the controlling idea? Now, answer me in the chat box. Where is the controlling idea? Definitely write the controlling idea in the chat box. طلاب, quickly please. محمد عبد الأمير حسين, good investment. Okay. غيره طلاب؟ A good investment is a good investment. غدير سالم good investment. نسرين مجاهد is a good, yes, yes. وأفراح عامر إلى آخره. زين، انتبهوا لي طلاب، يعني يعني ما أعرف، يعني أنا كم مرة أشرح المسألة وأعيد وأشرح وأعيد. أغلب الطلاب كتبوا good investment. زين، أسألكم أنتم اللي كتبتوا good investment or a good investment، ويجي الواحد يكتب لي education. A college education is the topic. We know that a college education is the topic. This is the topic. Okay? And as I explained to you in the previous lessons many times, and I repeated that, and I focused on that, emphasized it, that the first part of the sentence, we have what? We have subject and predicate. The subject is the topic, mostly, and the predicate starts with verb, and the controlling idea starts with the verb. Why? I'm going to ask those students who wrote good investment. يعني تجي تقول لي good movement. Where is good movement? Good investment. It's good investment. ماكو movement. إذا قلنا good investment is the controlling idea. Okay? زين، أنا إذا أسألكم اللي كتبتوا good investments، إذا غيرت الفعل هل راح يبقى good investment هو ال controlling idea؟ يعني أقدر أقول أنا a college education is not. زين، تقدر تقول لي الآن الكنترولينج ايديا هو a good investment؟ انا الان يعني قلبت المعنى رأسا على عقب. The meaning is upside down. Meaning now is upside. Why? Because I changed the verb. إذن the controlling idea starts from the verb. يا طلاب, you should know this. Okay? The controlling idea, the idea starts with verb. For example, I can say what? For example, when I say a college education increases, it is different from what saying a college education decreases. يعني فرق، يعني 100%. يعني بدل ما اقول minimize، بدل ما اقول minimize اقول maximize، بدل ما اقول decreases اقول increases. يعني تغيير الفعل يغير الكنترولينج ايديا. فالطلاب اللي قالوا is a good investment is right، اللي هم شهلاء حسن ونسرين مجاهد، كتبوا is. يعني they start with what? They start with the verb and then the complement. يعني again and again and again, the topic is the subject we are talking about. The controlling idea starts with the verb. When I ask you where is the controlling idea, you should start with verb. You should identify by looking for the verb. Where is the main verb in the sentence? Now again, my question was, does this group of words yield a good sentence? Yes, it does. Why? Because it's grammatically correct. It has a verb. It has subject, verb, and complement. The subject is what? A college education, which is the topic we are talking about. We want to clarify, we want to argue, we want to describe, we want to explain anything. Okay? And it is stated whether we want to clarify or describe or, for example, argue. It is stated from the very verb we are using. يعني تبين احنا نريد نصف، لو نريد نشرح، لو نريد نبين نوضح، نريد مثلا نسوي comparison and contrast، نريد مثلا يعني نناقش، نجادل، نبرهن. هذه كلها، هذه تبدأ من الأفعال. إذن الفعل يجب أن تبحث عن الفعل، يجب أن تحدد ال controlling idea by identifying the verb and what follows the verb. Then a college education is a good investment, is an excellent sentence, but it is a bad thesis sentence. الآن عرفتوا شنو الفرق؟ Students, write in the chat box, because there's a technical problem here. I can't hear you. I don't know why. Yes, okay. Excellent. So not every good sentence yields a good thesis sentence. Why? Because a thesis sentence should be specific. It should have a controlling idea, very specific controlling idea. It shouldn't represent or give a general statement, general idea. So we have to what? We have to work. We have to exert more effort while writing our thesis sentence. We have to be very cautious. We have to be very cautious while writing our thesis sentence. It's the key sentence in the whole essay. Okay. So please, students, there's difference between a sentence, thesis sentence, topic sentence, topic. You should know them. I always explain that in almost in every lesson. And again, I get shocked by bad answers and wrong answers. ما أعرف الجماعة اليوم يتصلون هواي. مرستكم دقيقة. Okay. Hello. نعم طلاب، أنا خلي أسوي هذا silent أفضل، يسوي لنا distraction. Okay. So, it is what? It's a good sentence. It has topic and has a controlling idea. And the controlling idea starts with the verb, and it has an adjective and then a noun as a complement. So a college education is a good investment. But this sentence is too general. As a thesis sentence, it doesn't work as a good thesis sentence. Why? Because when we say, for example, a college education is a good investment, we don't specify. We don't know, or we didn't know. Good investment for whom? For the students, for the society, for the government, for example, private sectors. We don't know. So there is no specific idea about it. For whom, why, what? Always ask yourself these questions. When you write a thesis sentence, you should be specific. You should give a controlling idea that represents a good and specific thesis sentence. And if you write, for example, sub-ideas, it would be an excellent one. Very organized, outlined, focused, specific. And it helps you as a writer and helps the reader as well. So, to improve it, look at the second sentence. How does the writer here improve his or her, sentence? A college education is a good investment. مجرد أضاف يعني the writer here adds for 4 reasons. Look at this. مجرد أضاف this part of the sentence or this phrase for 4 reasons. يعني why it is what? Why is it a good investment? For 4 reasons. For 2 reasons. For 3 reasons. Not only for something, but also for something else. If we want to use sub-ideas. Due to something, because of something, we stated the reason, or we state, at least we stated the reason in general. For 2 reasons means that what? You have specific 2 reasons you want to explain, you want to discuss in the following body paragraphs. Then you become what? You become more specific about your controlling idea. You become more specific about your controlling idea. And then in the body paragraphs, you are going what? You are going to show these 2 reasons, 4 reasons, 3 reasons, whatever, for the readers. So the reader, when reads such a sentence, he or she will know that you have a specific idea about your controlling idea for 2 reasons, and you are going to show these 2 reasons. But when you say, for example, college education is a good investment, and يعني what then? Okay, so what? يعني so what is the specific idea? Where is the specific idea? Why? What? How? Okay, so إن شاء الله المسألة واضحة. المثال الآخر, too general. Lasers are very useful. الآن أسألك سؤال وأريد أشوف بالله يعني هذا الشرح فاد لو ما فاد. Lasers are very useful. Is it a good sentence? Please write in the chat box because I can't hear you. Okay? Okay? So it's yes. A good sentence. Excellent. So you understood it. You understood the point now. Can you tell me where's the topic? Can you write the topic specifically? Where is the topic? Lasers. Lasers. Excellent. Lasers. Where is the controlling idea? Where's the controlling idea? Are very useful. Excellent. So you got the idea now. Are, yes, very useful. So we have what? We have lasers as topic, are very useful. But we all know, in general, we know that what? We know that lasers are very useful, but we don't know why, how, in what aspect. In what aspect? Okay? The second sentence, the writer improves his or her thesis sentence by saying what? By saying lasers have. Look, he changes or she changes what? The verb. Lasers have several applications. طبعا إذا وقف اللي هنا lasers have several applications. Is it a good sentence? Yes, it is. But does it yield a good thesis sentence? No, it doesn't. Why? Because it's still too general. Lasers have several applications. We know in general that lasers have several applications, but we don't know in what aspects. How? Why? Where is the specific idea about this sentence? Where is it? So lasers have several applications in industry. Okay. So this is the this is the one aspect. Okay. That we can what? We can use the application. We can use the application of lasers in, and the other aspect or the other field, the other field is what? Medicine. So we have two fields where we can use the lasers in industry and in medicine. So we have a better specific idea. So it becomes what? It becomes a good thesis sentence. Instead of what? Instead of saying lasers are very useful or lasers have several applications, we have to add something specific about the controlling idea. We have to state our thesis sentence more specifically. We have to be straightforward when we give our controlling idea. So we have to be straightforward about our specific idea. We have to be so specific and express our specific idea directly to the reader. Don't give the reader general statement. General statement could be used everywhere else, specifically at the very beginning of what? At the very beginning of the introductory paragraph, as we knew already. We start with a general statement and then we specify the ideas step by step until we arrive at the very the most specific sentence in the whole essay. Zin. This is problem number one. So we should not write thesis sentences with general ideas. So our thesis sentences should not represent general ideas. They should represent specific ideas. And if we can write sub-ideas, it's better. As I always say, this to be memorized and to be understood better and better, more and more. Okay. So a thesis sentence should not be too general. The other problem, the second problem, is that a thesis sentence should not be a simple announcement. Yani never announce for your thesis sentence. Like saying, for example, I'm going to write about sports injury. Why? Can any one of you write the reason why does this sentence, why does it represent a bad, or we can say a bad thesis sentence? I'm going to write about sports injuries. Why? Why does this sentence look or read badly as a thesis sentence? We don't have main idea. Excellent, Shahla Hassan. Excellent. We don't have main idea. Where is the main idea? Excellent. Okay. Makes you seem not confident. لا ما يعني it has nothing to do with confidence, but there's no main idea. Well, I'm going to write about, so Shahla or any other students, what is there in this sentence? We have only what? We have only what? لا, the topic should be in the beginning. لا, مو فد only topic. Excellent. We Nawar wa Shahla wa Jinan, only the topic. Yes, excellent. We have the topic, which is definitely sports injuries. I'm going to write about sports injuries. There is no need to say that, because you are writing about your topic, and we know the topic already. We should know the topic in the we should know about the topic from the very beginning of your writing the introductory paragraph for your essay, and we should know it specifically in your thesis sentence. You can say sports injuries are so and so. And then the writer improves it by saying you can avoid sports injuries. How? How can you avoid sports injuries? By taking a few simple precautions. So here we have the main idea, specific idea. You are going to ask, as a reader, you are going to ask yourself, what about those? What are those simple precautions? So it's an interesting sentence. It's an interesting topic. It's an interesting idea. Sorry, about the topic. It's an interesting idea. How can we what? How can sports injuries are avoided by? Yes, by what? By simple precautions. What are those simple precautions? Okay, so again, we should not announce for our topics. We should write the topic, controlling idea, and if very specific controlling idea, and if we are good writers, we should what? If we are good writers, we should specify what? We should specify the sub ideas about the controlling idea. Okay, it would be better. It will be excellent when we specify our sub ideas. Now, problem number 3, the problem that we should avoid. The thesis states an obvious fact. Sometimes thesis statements are not interesting. Why? They are not interesting. They are either too general. They are either because of what? Because of the announcement. You present your announcement. I'm going to explain. I'm going to clarify this point. I'm going to explain this. Yes, we know, because it's your function. It's your job as a writer to explain things, to argue, to discuss, to clarify things. Yes, we know as readers. But what is your main idea? What is your specific idea, sub ideas about what? About your main topic? What is your controlling idea? We want to know. Is there anything interesting about your idea? Problem number 3, when there is an obvious fact. When we say to each other something obvious. The sun rises from the east. The sun rises from the east. Every day the sun rises. We all know that. It's an obvious fact. Okay? It's an obvious fact. So there's nothing interesting about, there's no controlling idea, a specific controlling idea about the topic. We all know that. There's no something interesting. This will not capture the attention of the reader. It doesn't capture my attention. It doesn't capture your attention. So what? راح تسأل انت وبعدين. So what? For example, the internet is a communication superhighway. The internet is useful. أنا إذا أقول لك the internet is useful, تقول لي yes, I know. We all know that the internet is useful. Okay? So this is what? This is general fact. Obvious fact. And it also, at the same time, it's too broad. You didn't what? You didn't specify in what aspects it's a communication superhighway. You didn't show what aspect, why, and how. The internet is a communication superhighway. We know that. So it doesn't capture my attention. It doesn't capture my attention. It doesn't capture my interest. It is not interesting, interesting controlling idea. It is not specific. But when, for example, the writer writes, the growth of the internet, this is what? This is the topic. The growth of the internet has had both positive and negative consequences. Positive and negative consequences. So, do we have sub-ideas here? Do we have sub-ideas here? Yes, Abbas Abdul Bari, yes, yes, Nawar, Huda, and others. Yes, yes, we have what? Sub-ideas. What are those sub-ideas? And where is the signaling phrase or signaling word that introduces these sub-ideas? مو فقط النيجاتيف consequences، لا. Sub-ideas are positive and negative consequences يا طلاب. محمد عبد الأمير. Positive and negative sub-ideas we have, okay? Both. The word both is what? The word both is a signaling what? A signaling word that introduces the sub-ideas. Excellent. So now I think this is the last lesson about the thesis statement. Okay, we talked a lot about it. We explained it in detail. So this is the last lesson about the thesis sentence, and then inshallah from the next lesson we are going to explain and go into the details of what? Of explaining, discussing, handling, dealing with the body paragraphs and the concluding paragraphs, and then we come back to read the model essay we started with. The chapter starts with, okay? And we analyze the whole essay to write, and finally, to write what? To write, or to imitate, at least, to imitate this model, or to write a good essay, a good and simple essay about what? About a certain topic, but we should follow these explanations, clarifications about every part we explained in the what? In the, yes, in these lessons. Okay? So any question, please? Any question? So we have to avoid three things. We have to avoid what? When we write our thesis sentence, we have to avoid being too general. We have to avoid giving simple announcements. We have to avoid, giving obvious facts. We should write specific controlling idea, and it would be better to write sub-ideas always. Even when we say, for example, when we say for two reasons, for two different ways, in two different ways, okay? So thank you very much, and I think that time is over now, yeah? And that's enough for today. If you have any question, please write it in the chat box. And if you don't have any question, please, you can what? You can depart the Google Meet. You can leave it, okay, quickly. Okay?
Thank you, Doctor.
Good. Okay. No worries. Okay. It's very clear. Thank you. Okay, thank you all. And I hope that you understood the thesis sentence, and you will write good thesis sentence in every exam, or whenever you write a text, okay, an essay, for not only for my course, for other courses. So thank you very much, and see you next week, inshallah. Please depart the Google Meet. Okay. Su'al by Abbas Abdul Bari. Could you please send us a typical question about this topic? And thank you so much. Inshallah, yani I plan to what? To give you some assignment about thesis sentence and the body paragraph and concluding paragraph, inshallah. Okay. ما أدري إذا أكو سؤال، ماكو سؤال، فأرجو المغادرة من الجميع. أنا هم راح أسوي مغادرة للطلاب اللي ما مغادرين حتى الآن. أوكي. You are welcome. Okay. Okay. جيد. Stop recording. Stop recording.